Good afternoon to our listeners. Welcome to the fourth industrial revolution here on SA4IR podcast. You joining me and my co-host Braneo here, and welcome back, Braneo. Welcome back.
No, thank you very much, Ntokozo, and we are excited again. Another podcast, another episode to discuss this important topic called the fourth industrial revolution. As you had said, today we have a special guest, somebody that will also help us put some meat into this whole movement called the fourth industrial revolution.
We're totally excited to have her. Sneh, introduce yourself. How are you doing over that side?
Good day, everyone. Good day, listeners. I'm good, and how are you, Ntokozo and Neo?
We're good. And we're so excited to have you on the podcast. You're actually our first guest. So trust me, excited is exactly what we are today.
I'm very excited too. In fact, I'm very flattered.
Tell us more about yourself. Where are you, Sneh, and what do you do? And how is it that you are here? Are you a small business owner? Are you employed somewhere? Are you doing something? Who's Sneh exactly?
Okay, my name is Mazibuko, Sneh for short. I'm a small business owner.
Yes.
I run a business called Infinite Creation Events.
Wow.
So what we do, what we do basically is we design digital invitations. We also offer a full range of event stationery, and we also do gifting just for about any event.
Digital invitations.
We started small. Yeah. We started very small in 2015, and we've just been building this business, and we officially registered our company this year in March. So we've been operating from March, and it's been an incredible journey, learning so much about business, learning so much about running a business, running a company, interacting with the different types of people, customers. So that's where we're at right now. We are based in Midrand. We're also based in the Northern Cape at the moment.
Wow.
But we're more than happy to work with anyone worldwide. And I think that's just the beauty of technology. You're able to connect with people all around the world.
Exactly.
So, it doesn't mean that just because we're based in Midrand, we're only dealing with customers that are based in Midrand as well. No, we connect with people in Durban, in Limpopo, anywhere around the world. So that's just the beauty of technology nowadays.
That's fantastic. You talked about digital invitations. Like for someone like me, I don't host a lot of things. All I know about invitations is that it's normally like in a gift card, sort of, not gift card, man, like those flyer type things. What's a digital invitation?
So a digital invitation, it's not your typical hard copy or a card that you can physically hand over to someone.
Okay.
It's something, as I said, dealing with technology, something that I can send via my phone to someone maybe who's in the USA.
Wow, okay.
Just as an example. Sending by means of social media or by means of email. So it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to meet at a particular place for me to hand over this piece of paper to you. So it's digital, meaning it's in your phone or it's on your computer and you can just send it electronically.
That's incredible. So basically, if for example, I'm running a company and, it's end of the year and the end year functions. So basically, a business could actually use your services to actually tell people about the end year function that they'll be having, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's just the beauty of these digital invitations, because we also realized in our research that, for example, if you're planning a wedding,
yes,
it takes a lot of time. I mean, there's so much that goes into planning a wedding. I mean, you've got to meet different types of people, and we realize time is of the essence. So you don't have enough hours in a day to be going from one place to another, booking appointments, doing this. So while you're busy dealing with other things, we figured it's best if we do this digital invitation for you, because we don't have to meet the particular point, we don't have to set up an appointment. We can just chat via WhatsApp or whatever social media platforms. It makes it so much easier, so that while you can carry on with your other businesses while we're busy doing these digital invitations for you. And when we're done, it's just as easy as clicking a button and sending to the person. So it saves a lot of time.
That's incredible.
And a lot of cost. I mean, yeah.
That's incredible. I could probably ask so many questions because as you were talking right now, I'm just having questions upon questions. But you know what? I think the best thing is that we need to give people your details so that whatever questions I haven't asked, they can ask you directly. So where can people get a hold of you, Sneh?
Oh, yeah, sure. So they can contact us or WhatsApp us on this number, 061 471 8039.
Okay, and on social media, where can they find you?
On social media platforms, we are on Facebook and Instagram. They can find us at Infinite Creations. Our email address is infinitecreations@gmail.com.
That's
so
fantastic.
Our creations is spelled CR8TIONS.
Or 8, right? CR8.
Infinite Creations.
Oh, got you. That's catchy. That's catchy. Wow, Sneh. You've actually introduced us to something that, for me, I have not been aware of. That you actually have things called digital invitations, and some of the stuff that you were talking about. Praneo, is any of this familiar to you? Okanye, are we now really in the fourth industrial revolution where you don't have to be printing out stuff to invite people to your things?
Sneh, hi again.
Hi, Neil.
Indeed, this is exciting. Of course, for me as a researcher, as somebody who, as I'm doing quite a lot of research around the fourth industrial revolution, what was a concern between me and Ntokozo? And as I must say again that I'm glad that I can put face to the thoughts. One, when we established this social portal, mind the word social. The idea was that we are finding that a lot of people are not in any way understanding the concept of the fourth industrial revolution.
Sure.
What this is actually to me and you. By that I mean, for example, an industrial revolution is really a social revolution. It will have a social impact on it. So what we are finding is that in South Africa, much as you can see that the government has put together a bit of this, a bit of that, councils to try and think around what the fourth industrial revolution will mean to South Africa. And I'm glad that you raised, for me, the exciting part is that the minute you said a digital invitation, I said this is a case of the application of the tools of the fourth industrial revolution right there. And you see how you have thought about it is what is interesting for me, because our concern is that there's quite a lot of information that is at a very elite level. You've got councils that are comprised of people that are at certain connections in society to be able to be picked to make the thoughts around what is actually happening from a policy point of view, to say where do we go in terms of, for example, supporting SMMEs to take advantage of the fourth industrial revolution. For example, what you are providing is actually a very exquisite a service, costly and not. I mean the
and
cost.
Innovative.
Innovative. That's the thing, and the market choice. The way you have gone for the market is where, even when I was getting married, one of the costs here was, of course, these paper-based invitations.
And she was talking about the stress levels. Even my wife, when we're getting married, the having to organize things is so stressful and time-consuming.
Yeah. So look at how your service is not just dealing with digitization. It is actually dealing with how we do things.
Yeah, practically.
Practically, you know what I'm trying to say. So I was saying to Ntokozo, my greatest wish is that we find people that can give perspective to those who really don't understand how they can apply this fourth industrial revolution and its tools. Remember now what we're dealing with is that there's going to be change. Whether you like it or not, as an employee, there is a workforce implication of how these technologies are going to be used. Whereas for us as South Africa, because we are really coming way from behind, and it looks, even in the high levels of business, that people are not catching to the consciousness about this fourth industrial revolution and what it will mean. You know, Muse, there are people that have lost jobs now in the banking sector. But nobody told them that we are in the middle of automation. You know, that businesses are facing the pressure to be lean and mean, and that, you know, solutions for a new world are being provided. So people are not telling people what we are really dealing with here. And maybe even quick enough that, like yourself, quick enough to think and apply these technologies. I'm just thinking about somebody that in the next 5 years will lose a job as in the bank.
Yeah.
And what can they do now? You see, your case, your story, for me becomes that answer. You know what I'm trying to say? Because you may not need to be a high-level IT technician or somebody with a background in technology to understand. So I'm looking forward to asking you one or two questions. Okay, I hope you can entertain me here. First man, tell me, how did you get to this transition? Was it because you also had been focused on these developments, or are you somebody that has got quite a passion with technology, or is it that out of your own research, as you had said, you found that using this technology would give you more mileage to your idea?
Okay, so it's a combination. I am someone who's passionate about technology because even in my line of work, where I was working previously, I had to switch my career from mining into technology. Okay. So I was already working in a digital department.
Oh, yes.
Hence, I came to this idea of having digital invitation. But also at the same time, my sister and I, who's also a co-founder in this in our company, she does a lot of research. She's someone who's very creative. So that being said, she did a lot of research. She likes Pinterest, and she gets a lot of ideas from Pinterest.
Yes, actually, that's brilliant.
So with that combination of the two of us, then we came up with this idea of having digital or video invitations.
Okay, wow, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Let me maybe ask you this question again. Maybe just to test your conceptual understanding, or even, let me say, what is your perspective about what we should do with the fourth industrial revolution, especially South Africa? Because, as I was saying to you, there's a lot of papers out, there is a lot of policy work that is being done, for example, to deal with broad spectrum, so that maybe you can expand the infrastructure so that SMMEs like you can be able to even go to Eastern Cape, even though, of course, you are able to reach that. But the point is the fastness in which you can connect with your customers, your potential customers. So I just want to check with you, what does the future hold here? Of course, I had made my own argument that this social portal is meant to create that space for learning, because the current platforms are, it looks like to me, that are really research based, university based. You know what I'm trying to say, and aimed at sharing the thinking at a much more elite level. So for us here that are listening to you, I'm not really that tech savvy like you, you know. What can you say to us? You know, what must make us really be conscious here? And what would you give the government as advice on how to support SMMEs like you so?
Oh, okay. That's a very interesting question, and I'm very glad you asked it, because what I'm finding in my line of work is that as soon as you speak about digital, people don't understand.
Okay.
I once had a customer call me and ask me where I'm based, and the moment I said I'm in Gauteng, she's like, "No, it's not gonna work because I'm in Durban." So now I had to take her through and explain to her how digital works and how we are supplying a service such as digital invitations, and explain to her that no, as long as you've got WhatsApp or an email, we can chat over those platforms. We don't have to see each other face to face. It's only then she started grasping the concept. She's like, oh, so it's that simple. So what I'm finding is people really do not understand the fourth industrial revolution. And what I've observed is that for the past few years, government leaders have been discussing the fourth industrial revolution as the next phase of South Africa's development. But however, very few of them, even us, seem to have grasped what it is. So I feel that the first step that South African government needs to do is to focus on looking at the needs of the citizens. And then we also have issues in South Africa, challenges where internet connectivity is a major issue. I mean, due to infrastructure complications and also the rising costs of data.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No,
so as I understand, South African government has taken a step by establishing a government-endorsed commission. But I think what this commission at the moment needs to do is to provide us as a nation with a solid, a real plan of what's going to happen. What is it that they're going to do for us in order for us to adapt and to grasp this whole concept of the fourth industrial revolution.
That's exactly
so I think,
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they should be having. Okay, they are having more talks, but in addition to those talks, they should be showing us some sort of action that they're taking for us to really understand and grasp and to adapt that, we live in an ever-changing world and there's new technologies that are being brought forth, and how do we then adapt to these technologies? How do we adapt to this change? Because change is inevitable. So it's just a matter of us adapting. As new changes come about, we need to adapt.
Yeah, if I can jump in here, Namsne, just to give my own 2 cents worth in all of this, because you bring up a whole lot of important points, and I'm gonna come back to you, Ranel, about this one. That Snedlander, for example, is talking about the reality of where we are versus where we need to be. Because you look at small businesses today, where the failure rate of small businesses is so high, but at the same time, we've got an issue of unemployment in the country, that, whatever is being done needs to address whatever small businesses need to have, especially if you consider things like data, that, if that could be sorted out, it could make such a massive difference on how efficiently a small business could work. We're going to be having a whole lot of guests from different industries and from different backgrounds giving their own opinions. But I think one of the most fundamental things is the fact that if we don't get that this fourth industrial revolution gives us opportunities, that if we could capitalize on them, we could solve a whole lot of problems by solving the problems that small businesses are having. And in so doing, we'll actually go a long way to solving unemployment, the dropping GDP, and all of that. And this is some of the stuff that you talked about in your blog as well, Branel, isn't it?
Yes. Sneh, I'm just call it proud, yeah. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. This is an important day in terms of the data we're trying to pull together here and the perspective we want to pull. I like how you just said to me, broadly people do not understand. And it shocks me because as I look at the research that has maybe say the past 5 years, okay. So as you know, there's first world, second world, which is where we are now technically as South Africa, and then you then have the third world. So in the blog, I was raising the point of losers and winners. Okay, so from what you will find is that unless somebody catches onto your consciousness, the way you have been able to derive this consciousness, and I'll tell you why I ask you this thing, because it means in South Africa you'd have two ways in which you can adapt. Out of individual agency, that you take the interest, and out of waiting for policy to come and provide direction. But what I see really is that a lot of people, and I was telling Ntokozo earlier on that, it seems like you've got two types of people. People who, upon knowing about these technologies, cannot necessarily even think about them from the point of view of the fourth industrial revolution. It's just technology. There's technology that is available for people to use. I was saying in the blog that the problem with South Africans is that, to a large degree, we are at a end user level with the technology. At a level where we are asking what can it do for me, as in, can I send pictures, can I do whatsoever, but not at what can I use to scale, how can I use this technology to scale up whatever it is that I'm doing. So there's not been that transference into the applications of this technology in the long term. We have one. And so for me, that's really what shocks me. And what you also raised was to say, you want to see government doing something beyond the policy discussions. And I agree with you, because I ask myself that if government already knows that the potential of the technology, for example, to accelerate SMME development, such as your SMME, I mean, look at how your platform is actually just solving so many things. And it's not just only you, there's a lot.
And it's so practical.
And it's so practical, so very practical.
Like, people have events, weddings, birthday parties.
So maybe as we are about to go to conclusion, you have said government, must try and get through to give us a strategy. Of course, they are working on that, and of course it's late. But be that as it may, what do you think they must do specifically in the SMME industry? Because I can tell you that business is the one that actually is the drive of the fourth industrial revolution, and the limitations that will come to whether the workforce or whether it will come to society in general will come from business decisions, because there's a buyers of the technology, they're the applicants,
especially the private sector.
So with the SMMEs, the opportunity becomes rather about how can they scale up their businesses, okay? What new innovations can they bring? What I was saying to Ntokozo is, we've got a lot of problems, yes, an ailing economy, and I was saying to him, but here's where the problem of the logic of thinking in South Africa is, policy thinking, is that you think you can pack things. In the concept of development, you can't pack things. Things are already interconnected. So you can't say, okay, let's park the fourth industrial revolution to a council to be busy thinking about what shall happen. By the time they release a report, certain events would have matched to make some of the information useless. You understand what I'm trying to say? So I was saying to him, no, rather integrate certain actions, as you are saying, for example, SMME development, in the broader response to policy. So as you are working policy, there are actions you can take, and I agree with you. So which specific actions would you want them to take? Maybe give me on 3 levels if you can.
I think government should be able to provide SMEs with platforms in which we can be able to put our work out there or to showcase our work where people can find us easily. Because I think that's another issue, is that we're having people looking for services and they don't know where exactly to begin in South Africa to look for those services. So maybe if they can provide us with platforms that support the fourth industrial revolution with new technologies that can process information much faster so that it reaches people that are looking for these types of services much easier and much quicker. I think that would be the one thing.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, but I also understand that there is technology that's driven by the fourth industrial revolution that is already disrupting some industries across South Africa. But I think the government can do more. But maybe I feel we should also take it upon ourselves to bring ourselves up to speed with what's happening around the world, technology-wise. What is this industrial revolution? Can we unpack it for ourselves?
Yes.
And then maybe we take it from there to try and understand, okay, this is what's happening, but how is the government going to support us?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Thank you very much. I mean, that is exactly the kind of solutions-driven perspectives from SMMEs such as yourself that we seek, and that this social portal really, SNE, is intended to be an off-site social platform for us to really share. We are born. So that we are not always waiting for government perspective. We shall share it, of course, but what has happened with the countries, the lead countries, the 7 lead countries that excel with these technologies, was that this came from people. So I would say, where I'm sitting, that I encourage you, and I believe if you put your mind to it, the digital invitation is not the only thing you can do digitally. I see your business growing, but please, as I also say, with this capacity, that there will be people that will lose jobs. How do you intend to transfer? Just as the last one, I'm sneaking that question in. How do you intend to transfer that kind of technology and even your own zeal to maybe friends of your sister or partners that you might have or affiliates that you might have in the SMME industry?
How do I intend to transfer? Sorry, can you please repeat?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to check that your consciousness around skills transfer, because one of the things that will happen is that people who already are in business and using these technologies would have to have employees that actually are at some power, even at a higher level than them as the business owners. So as I know you will grow. Is there a strategy you have in mind of transfer, perhaps, of skills, of building your own employees' capacity?
Not at the moment. It's not something that I've thought of at the moment. But in the way that we have built this business up until now, it's really out of creativity, because we didn't learn these skills at a special academy or institution elsewhere. It's generally like natural creativity that we bring to the table. So I feel in my line of business, creativity is very important. Being able to think out of the box is really important. And I think going forward, those are the type of people I would seek to employ. Not necessarily someone who's got a graphic design qualification or something similar, but being able to bring something different to the table, being able to be creative.
That's fantastic. Okay, Sneh, just as we're wrapping up,
being able to just also to add, just being able to be technology savvy and, being aware of what technology is capable of and how it can disrupt many industries and how it can impact lives of many, how it can make differences in people's lives,
That's awesome. That's awesome. As we're wrapping up, just in case anyone missed those contact details of yours, you said they can get a hold of you on social media at?
Yeah, they can get hold of me on social media platforms on Facebook and Instagram at Infinite Creations. The Creations is spelled CR8TIONS. Infinite
awesome.
Creations. Our contact number is 061-471-8039. And then our email address is infinitecreations@gmail.com.
That's awesome. And for anyone, yes. Sorry to cut you off.
Just to add, we, as much as we do digital invitations, we also do those hard copy cards because, again, going back to the topic of digital, not many people understand what digital is. So just to cater for the needs of our other customers that might require cards, we are able to do that as well because we do understand not everyone has WhatsApp in this day and age. Not everyone understands technology. Not everyone has an email address. So we also do cater by creating those cards, those invitation cards.
So you've got all the tables covered up. You can do digital and you can do traditional. That's fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mazibuko from Infinite Creations. Just in case you want to talk to us here at 4IR, at SA4IR South Africa as well, you can get a hold of us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is SA4IR Portal. And then our Facebook page is SA4IR Social Portal. You can WhatsApp us as well on 078 074 7603. This is your host, Ntokozo Mtembu, signing out with my co-host, Branel. We'll see them next time. No?
Thank you very much. And thank you, Sneh.
Thank you so much.
And good luck. I hope maybe soon we shall be thinking of something new.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for having me on the show. Thank you for everything.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Anyway, see you guys and tune in for the next episode of SA4IR Social Portal. Peace out. Good afternoon to our listeners. Welcome to the Fourth Industrial Revolution here on SA4IR Podcast. You joining me and my co-host Branel here. And welcome back, Branel. Welcome them back.
No, thank you very much, Ntokozo. And we are excited again. Another podcast, another episode to discuss this important topic called the Fourth Industrial Revolution. As you had said, today we have a special guest, somebody that will also help us put some meat into this whole movement called the Fourth Industrial Revolution.
We're totally excited to have her. Sneh, introduce yourself. How are you doing over that side?
Good day, everyone. Good day, listeners. I'm good, and how are you, Ntokozo and Neo?
We're good. And we're so excited to have you on the podcast. You're actually our first guest. So trust me, excited is exactly what we are today.
I'm very excited too. In fact, I'm very flattered.
Tell us more about yourself. Where are you, Sneh, and what do you do? And how is it that you are here? Are you a small business owner? Are you employed somewhere? Are you doing something? Who's Sneh exactly?
Okay, my name is Mazibuko, Sneh for short. I'm a small business owner.
Yes.
I run a business called Infinite Creation Events.
Wow.
So what we do, what we do basically is we design digital invitations. We also offer a full range of event stationery, and we also do gifting just for about any event.
Digital invitations.
We started small, We started very small in 2015, and we've just been building this business, and we officially registered our company this year in March. So we've been operating from March, and it's been an incredible journey, learning so much about business, learning so much about running a business, running a company, interacting with the different types of people, customers. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. We are based in Midrand. We're also based in the Northern Cape at the moment.
Wow.
But we're more than happy to work with anyone worldwide. And I think that's just the beauty of technology. You're able to connect with people all around the world.
Exactly.
So yeah, it doesn't mean that just because we're based in Midrand, we're only dealing with customers that are based in Midrand as well. No, we connect with people in Durban, in Limpopo, anywhere around the world. So that's just the beauty of technology nowadays.
That's fantastic. You talked about digital invitations. Like for someone like me, I don't host a lot of things. All I know about invitations is that it's normally like in a gift card, sort of, not gift card, man, like those flyer type things. What's a digital invitation?
So a digital invitation, it's not your typical hard copy or a card that you can physically hand over to someone.
Okay.
It's something, as I said, dealing with technology, something that I can send via my phone to someone maybe who's in the USA.
Wow, okay.
Just as an example. Yeah, sending by means of social media or by means of email.